The Dark Realm is a difficult place to live. Plants grow weakly and twisted in the lack of sunlight. Mercenary work and banditry are rife, as it pays more than basic farming or hunting. The realm at large is ruled over from the great city of Guardia, an overpopulated, sinful place ruled over by a baleful king that we haven't seen in years. There is an elven kingdom to the south, ruled by the sequestered shadow elves, a dwarven kingdom lost to the mountains of the west, and a tiefling kingdom among the volcanic rock of the islands in the north. Great patches of our land are poisoned and deserted. There are tribal villages, beasts, goblins, and orc warbands, of course, but we're trapped here. The mists are a mystery. Most who enter them never return. Those that do are changed in such a way that they are unrecognizable or utterly insane. Nothing comes out of the mist, but it surrounds us, calls out, poisons, frightens. Couple that with the almost endless darkness, and the Dark Realm is a very difficult place to live.
Will, as you step out of the caverns with the others, you see in front of you two men. They're very ghostly to your vision. They're kind of translucent, but clear to you. Humans. One casually draping arms over a longsword behind his neck, laughing, a satchel bouncing off of his hip. He looks towards the other man and opens his mouth to speak, but when he does, a snake's head forces its way out of his jaw. The man grabs at his throat. The sword falls to the mud behind him and he begins to choke. The second man looks on. He has a pained expression very clearly across his face. But he turns from the man and walks away. You recognize the second man as you. It's at this moment you have a terrible ringing in your ears which causes you to stumble. The strength is torn from you. Will falls forward towards the mist in front of him, landing on his knees. And Will, you experience that dreamlike reverie again, like the one that you recall upon the boat with the dwarf and the woman, the darkness around you smothering any detail of the people or the objects or the area around you. You feel water running down your face. You have a headache like you've never experienced, wounds across your body. There's an ache in your legs as if you've been running for days. And you hear voices. Can't quite tell if you recognize them or you don't. Somewhere you hear your own comrades calling to you, but for now, you're stuck in this new reverie.
Eldarin, I'm not asking you. I'm telling you, we can't go back in there.
Then who else, Nathan? The key to everything. It lies further within. I saw something. I think you saw it too. We have to try again.
Look at you. You'll die.
Maybe. But if we just push on, that tower we saw, it must hold answers. Why? Why is there a tower in there, Nathan?
I don't know.
Exactly. Nobody does. And look, we made it out. Somehow I was able to reduce the effects of the mist. And with your sword, we can keep those creatures at bay. We have to get to the tower, Nathan. We can do it. Together.
Why the fuck did I ever accept your coin? Look. If we're gonna do this, we enter between Jairus and Kull. We go north, keeping the forest to our east. That way, if we get lost, we can just push through to the river and follow it south. I am not getting lost in there again. I don't think I can take it.
This is worth it, Nathan. I know it. I can feel it. We can end this. All of this.
Fix. The others are gone. Ahead of you is the broken house that you were partly raised in. It stands empty and abandoned, the same way it was left when you left it. Peering out at you from an upper window is a tiefling child. They have a sort of blue hue to their skin. Their eyes are a sharp white blue, glowing almost in the moonlight. What do you do?
I run towards the house.
You going in?
Yep.
Yeah, you run towards the house. As you approach the door and push the door open, it opens easily. And inside, you suddenly hear a familiar voice. You hear Arias speaking down one of the hallways ahead of you, saying, "Where are you, child? You're the last one I have. Come out now." As you step into this house and look around the immediate hallway, you realize that the shelves are too high, the steps are too large, the doorways loom over you. You're small. You look down at your hands maybe and you see the hands of a younger Fix. In a doorway ahead, a shadow passes. It's Arias. He's kind of stooped and looking for something small. His right hand suddenly ignites in a flame, casting light down the hallway. You have a moment to react before he might see you.
I try and hide behind anything shadowy.
Give me a dexterity check. Dexterity saving throw, and we're going to minus 10 from the roll. 4 after rolling a 14. You stumble one way, looking for something to hide under. There is an old kind of broken, dilapidated chest of drawers. There's enough space for someone small to fit underneath, but as you start to move, you're so used to your older, more refined body that you forget maybe what it's like to be a stumbling child. You wander forward, crash into the set of chests, a piece of it breaking off and landing next to you, creating a clattering sound. You hear Arias suddenly shuffle towards you, the glow of light cast across you. It's very obvious that he's seen you. You look up at him. His eyes are entirely on fire now. Behind him, his horns also aflame, his hands both aflame. He says, "Aha! Found you!" and begins to move towards you. His body is shifting in and out of the shadows around the room with the flames upon him, as if bits of him are being pulled into the shadows around him and then reignited with flame. As he starts to move down this hallway towards you, it's almost as if he is not even moving his legs. He's just a figure rushing towards you. What do you do next?
Do I still feel like my older self?
In your head, I think you feel very much like you as you, but your body is clearly, it's almost as if you're trapped in your much, much younger self.
I would try and attack him. I'd try an Eldritch Blast.
Okay, give me an Eldritch Blast roll. Minus 10 to the attack roll. A 14, being a 4, you hold out your arm, your left arm ahead of you. Nothing happening. It's just your hand, your fleshy hand. No gauntlet, no magical energy coalescing at the end of it, no ray of ice or anything like that. You just hold a hand out and nothing happens.
Sort of shake my hand and then I'll just try and move backwards and get away from him.
Give me another dexterity save.
12.
A 12 being a 2. You try and move backwards. These enormous flaming hands reach towards you. As the fist curls and grabs at your collar, lifting you up, you feel the flame dissipate. It turns to a kind of icy cold and it starts to spread across your body. You feel it choking at your throat. You can't breathe. There's a coldness spreading not just across your skin, but it feels as if it's moving through your veins. What do you do?
Scream and thrash around. Get off me!
Give me an athletics check or a strength saving throw. -10.
3.
3 -10 is an epic fail. You feel Arias, or what now has turned into an almost sort of flaming eldritch horror, barely humanoid looking, shadows and fire and a horrible flaming face dripping sort of molten fire from its mouth, grab at your arm. From the wrist, he begins to pull at your arm with all of his strength. You struggle against him, but he's enormous, and you are now so small. He pulls and pulls at your arm, the pain as if your arm might tear at the seams at the shoulder. He says, "What's under here? What's under here? Let me see it. Let it out." And that is where we switch to fire. Fire. The others are gone, and you find yourself standing in the area just ahead of the sort of eastern side of the iris tree. There's a guard standing before you. He's got very dark eyes under an elven hood and cowl. He's got the shadow elf sigil upon his chest. There doesn't appear to be anyone else around. The tree seems to be empty, though it is lit up. You notice that there is a deep fog around the tree. Not uncommon in spring and maybe late autumn at times, but nobody else seems to be here at all. The guard standing with halberd under one arm doesn't look up to you, but as you recognize your surroundings and maybe approach the guard, he says, "You've returned then, Whitehair?"
It looks that way.
You are too late. Grimvane returned. Your brother returned with him.
And?
Well, you were not here. The elders hung them from the low branch. Behind him there is the low branch. It manifests closer to you the longer you look at it and linger. Two figures hang limp from long ropes. Your scar begins to ache on your body.
I'll run at them and try and take him down off the...
The guard, as you run past, shouts to you and says, "You cannot pass here, Fire. You do not belong here anymore." It doesn't make any
Watch me.
attempt to stop you.
I go anyway, I don't care.
Okay. The two bodies hanging above you at the low tree do not belong to a person known as Grimvane or to your brother. Hanging up there, one of them belongs to Will, and one of them belongs to Merlin.
Can I reach the rope?
You can reach the area where the rope is attached to the tree itself.
Yeah, I'll try to cut it down.
Roll me a dexterity check. Just a plain dexterity check, please. An 8. Why are you struggling to do this?
Because I thought it wasn't them, and now it's them, and I'm just panicked.
Hmm.
Probably shaking. I dropped my dagger. I can't.
You look up. The body that was once Will is now Fix. The rope that you were trying to get to that was attached to Merlin belongs to the person you recognize to be Grimvane.
I try to cut him down.
Roll me another dexterity check. "16. You're successful in cutting the rope. As you cut it, you see it pull taut and then release. Watching the rope whip suddenly upwards, you hear the thud of a body behind you. Turning round, you see the body of your brother.
I turn back around and see who's left hanging.
No one.
I turn back around to look at my brother.
He's alive.
Is he on the ground?
He's alive and unconscious. On the ground.
I slit his throat.
We change now to Will. Will. The others are gone. And around you is the chaos that you remember over the last day of your home at Grant's Refuge. To the right of you is the Palisade Wall that once stood at the edge of Grant's Refuge. It's dark around you as usual, but the fires of the town around you cast a light across the area. There is at the wall a hole, a broken, splintered hole, and through it you can make out a figure, the person you recognize as Darrow. His head is low, he creeps out through the hole in the wall. However, to the left of you, you see Lyra. She's walking away from you. In the darkness, you can make out that she's looking for something or someone, but momentarily she's going to be gone from your vision, lost in the smoke. I feel like you've probably got about enough time to go after one. What do you do?
I'll go after her.
Running after Lyra, you catch up with her. What do you do?
I'll just call out to her and say, Lyra, we need to get out of here. This place is lost.
You reach out to her, but your body feels like it's moving slowly, or as if you're underwater. You feel a strange pressure, like you're being pushed backwards or pulled backwards. There is a constant ringing in your ears. There is a familiar headache, like the one that you just experienced. And there is also this kind of tolling bell that you can hear. It's coming from inside you as you break your oath. You reach out to her and she turns. Her tongue is loose, too long and hanging sort of from her bottom lip. Her head is sort of deformed, as if she's had a terrible blow to one side of it. She falls, and as she does so, a pressure strikes you from behind. Looking down, there's a blade sticking through your abdomen.
I'll just glance backwards, not really even proper full turning around. I'll just look back to see who just probably killed me.
Roll me a perception check. An 18. Behind you, the burning village remains. There's a hill that wasn't present in Grant's Refuge at this side of the wall, and on the hill stand 4 figures shrouded in dark, but kind of outlined with an outer glow of like a lighter color, like a very light gray maybe in the darkness. The person holding on to the sword is a version of yourself, though your eyes are entirely black. You can see a long serpent-like tongue falling from your own mouth. The version of you behind you is looking past you at the sort of falling body of Lyra, and you hear this version of you in front of you speak and say, "Bring her back to life."
How?
Try.
I'll emulate the Paladin's Lay on Hands ability, even though I haven't learned it yet, and I don't think it exists here, but I'll just do that. Try to channel positive energy into her through my hands.
Your hands touch onto her body. You can see that this twisted form of Lyra is extremely wounded beyond repair. How does it look when you activate the Lay on Hands ability?
It would look like I take a deep breath and the air in front of my mouth kind of lights up. And it glows as it passes all the way through me, into my lungs. You can see it swirl around, and then down the arms, through the hands, and into her.
Your headache begins to dissipate as we move to Merlin. Merlin, your comrades are gone. Around you is both a familiar and unfamiliar forest. Directly ahead of you is your long-lost love. How does she look?
As beautiful as I've always remembered her.
She says to you, "Did you look for me?"
Always. I never stopped.
"But you hid in that forest for a century."
I had no choice.
"Well, you found me now."
I don't know how, and yet here we are. Is this some kind of magic?
"It's certainly some kind of magic. I've been waiting. I knew that you would arrive eventually. Stay with me here. Take my hand." She holds out a hand to you.
Can I take a closer look at the expression on her face as she's reaching out?
You can give me an insight check.
Sorry, hold on.
10. She holds her hand out to you. From the center of her hand, you can see a rising fog, a smog, a mist, just a wisp of it. From her shoulders, 2 more wisps. From various parts of her body, you see these strange, thin wisps of mist, and you realize that she's being puppeteered.
I think with that, Merlin just takes a deep sigh and his eyes begin to well up. I knew this was too good to be true. You are not her.
Would you like to wake up?
I'd like to try.
You wake up and You feel the cold earth below your body. Your hat has fallen off and has rolled ahead of you. The patchy and quite grey grass around you, cold. There is the mist floating lazily past your eyesight. Around you there is a forest of tall, twisted, black-barked trees. There are dry, cracked leaves on some of the branches, many left bare. Behind you is a cold, mountainous range that you came from, looming overhead. And above that even, there is a cold blue moon dwindling down. You, Merlin, now hear the whispers. However, all but Merlin continue to suffer terrible headaches. And each of you comes to your senses, waking up one by one on the ground. Merlin a little ahead of Will, where you kind of tumbled forward. Each of you waking up, you would get the sense that maybe you'd been asleep, knocked out for a minute or two, nothing more.
I think with that, Merlin would immediately scurry off to Fire and help her up.
You okay?
Yeah, are you?
Yeah.
How are the others? And Merlin would turn to Fire and Will and do the same. Fire first, Will next.
I've had just about enough of things messing with my head. And I'll sit up, but remain seated.
I'm sort of just staring at my hand, shaking a bit. Did you see things too?
Yep.
I think we all did.
Mm-hmm.
It's not real.
No, it wasn't. It was,
It's
it was a twisted... Right, exactly. It was a twisted mistelling of my past, is what it was.
Are we in the mist?
Either in it or on the border of it. You can see it there at the mouth of the cave. It's quite thick.
Isn't this what they say it does to you? It makes you lose your mind.
Mm-hmm.
People say lots of things.
Yeah, I'm hearing voices. It can't be good. Whatever is in there.
I just sort of start muttering something to myself, low, so that people can't hear it.
Well, we're in it now. What do we do?
We press forward.
Further into the mist.
Forward out of this cave. Then after that, if we're still heading east, we're still heading east. South should take us back towards civilization and out of the mist.
The plan stays the same. We go to Som's Point.
Agreed. We
We get out of here as soon as we can.
just cut through the mist to do it.
Do you know your way through the mist? Does anybody?
Despite what these flashes and memories are trying to imply, I've never been in the mist.
Can't say I've been either.
I didn't think there was a way through it.
Okay. Does anybody have a compass?
Is it accurate here?
Compass is even invented.
Do we have some way of telling the direction?
But other than the moon above you?
Can we do the old magnetize a needle and set it on a leaf and water Boy Scout trick?
I assume that's what a compass was.
Okay. Well, in that case, well, I mean, I didn't start with a compass, so I don't have one. Can we see the stars?
I was
Can't see
going
any
to just
stars,
say, what
but
about the stars?
You
No.
can
Well, we
see the
have-
moon. The moon also is a decent way of telling time, since there's very rarely any sunshine. You can tell that it's actual nighttime, and those of you that use the moon for time would be able to tell that it's about 4:30 in the morning. Based on that, you have a decent idea of which way is north, south, east, and west. Though the landscape around you looks like pretty samey. Lots of trees, like you're in the middle of a forest, as if this cave opening opens up into a forest. There is the mountain range to the south of you, which also spreads out from east to west.
Right. Well, assuming we've exited facing east, south should be generally to our right somewhere. Can't say exactly where we're going to end up, but if we take a right, it should put us roughly in the right direction. We
Cave
might have to
exit
wander a
is
bit.
pointing north.
Beg your pardon?
You exited the cave facing north.
Okay. Right. Well, in that case, we'll have to wrap around the edge of this mountain range and then head south, but we can eventually get back towards civilization that way.
I touch my
follow you.
necklace and try and see if, because Vita hid, I think, at the end of the last session. So I'm gonna try and see. I don't know how to do it because I've never done it before. So I'm just gonna try and like do something to get them back.
Okay. Roll me an animal handling check. Gotta be at 10.
10.
Ooh, makes it, breaks it. There is a pause. You get a sense of fear from Vitas, and then Vita appears in a sort of burst of flame from this locket. It's a momentary flash of light, and then the creature is out in a flaming form. There are 2 or 3 circles that Vita does around your head in flight, lighting up some of the area before relaxing a little, though they seem to be kind of on guard.
Good. I thought you'd gone. And then I'll will it to become a wisp. We need a name for it. Wisp.
Forms into the smoky, ashy form.
No time to waste then. I don't want to be in here any longer than we have to be.
I'll hold my hand out behind me and just go like this, which is like my way of getting Merlin to come hold my hand.
He immediately does it without any hesitation.
Okay.
Can I make out what the voices are telling Merlin, Brad?
You can give me a perception check.
10.
10. If you can make out what they're saying to you with your ears, you can make out what they're saying to you.
Oh god.
You're getting nothing, though. It's extremely garbled. It might not even be a language.
I can't wait to fail an athletics check to climb something and have Brad tell me, go outside your house and attempt to scale it.
If you can actually climb to the roof and send me a video.
10 is perfectly average. Unfortunately, it's not a pass. You do have something, though. Will, given the opportunity to raise Lyra from the dead using this lay on hands ability, how many of the maximum possible lay on hands points that you would have at this point would you have put into bringing her back?
back when this actually happened and she died, every last drop of it. But
Okay.
in that vision just now, I feel like not even halfway through that vision, Will would realize that something wasn't quite right because it didn't line up to exactly how it happened. Like, he knows he's in a vision. So he may have half-heartedly attempted to raise her with this other thing telling her, bring her back, but I don't think he would trust it. So I'm not sure how to answer the question.
So, you now have Lay on Hands as an ability, but it's a little different. You would have a total number of points equal to your Paladin level times 5, which is 3 times 5, so you'd have 15.
Mm-hmm.
Split them in half and round down. So you would have 7. 7 of your Lay on Hands points can be used to heal damage, hit points, etc. in daylight. 7 of them can be used to heal sanity whenever you want. I don't know if you have a full understanding of this, but in the same way that some of your abilities have come to you almost as if they're a sixth sense, when you're learning them, they're awkward to understand at first. You would have some idea about this through the vision that you just experienced. The headache that you had is partially gone because you've used half of your points. Again, we'll round down. So we'll say you used 3 of the sanity points on yourself. So you can cure yourself. You can bring your sanity level back up. I can't remember what you had. Let's see.
I was at 92. I've moved it back to 95.
Yeah. And then you would be aware that what you essentially provided for yourself here was an Advil with a headache. You were able to reduce the pain of the headache with this new ability. So you have Lay on Hands, HP, and Lay on Hands sanity right now.
Okay, so as 2 separate abilities, and it's like 7 of one and 7 of the other?
Yeah.
Okay.
You
I don't have
can
enough space on my character sheet to track all this. I'll have
There
to
you
make a
go.
note.
do that now. Watch. There you go. No. Go back. Watch this. We can do. Lay on hand. Do you see it?
Oh, you can add other resource tabs. Okay, I
Yes.
did not even know
So
that.
I'll let you do it how you want.
There we go. Yes.
With the element of expending 5 hit points from your pool of healing to cure a target of 1 disease or neutralize 1 poison affecting it, you can do that with either of your pools. That works with the sanity ones or with the
I'm sorry, say that again?
Lay on Hands as a secondary ability where you can expend 5 of the hit points from the pool of healing to cure anybody of a single disease or neutralize a poison. You can use either of your pools of Lay on Hands, the sanity half or the HP half.
Okay.
There is no daylight right now, however, just so you're aware. Second thing. I'm going to bring you over to the world map where you have cleared a portion of the mist.
Fog of war getting lifted.
Yep. As you move through the mist in this campaign, you will reveal anything underneath it in the hex that you're currently on. So, you've come out at the back end of these mountains, at the north side of it. I don't think you guys are fully aware that This is where you are on the map. But based on your general understanding that you went in this way and came out this way, you'd have a decent idea in general. Maneuvering through the mist is pretty much the exact same as maneuvering on the outside of the mist, in terms of setting potential travel tasks. One of you can try and navigate to make sure that you don't become lost. This is a lot more likely without the road that you were using before, to not lose track of where you are. In the mist, it's extremely difficult. This is a very, very thick fog. This is the type of fog that will impede your vision at sometimes worse than others. It will become thicker. It will loosen up. It will change. However, it can impede your vision, and you may easily become lost in it, even with a very simple thing to follow, i.e. a mountain range which is moving from west to east to one side of you. It can still be quite difficult to track where you're going. The moon, luckily for you tonight, is quite clear, which will certainly help you, and will reduce the DC in general. But becoming lost in the mist is very possible compared to walking along a road outside. One of you can record the group's progress. This is called drawing a map. Although you don't actually have to be physically drawing a map, you could be marking trees with a knife, you could be leaving breadcrumbs behind. Whatever it is that you end up doing, somebody can record your progress and in some way help you guys get back on course. If you are to become lost in the mist, you can then rely on that person to bring you back. Essentially, becoming lost in this means that you might end up in a hex that you don't want to go to. Or not becoming lost will bring you back to the hex that you were on when you began, and it would just be a failed travel task, and then you can do it again. One of you can track creatures, which is pretty much what you guys did with the bandits before. There isn't anything that you're tracking in here, but if you wanted to, you can track creatures. If you find footprints, or you find things, animals, or something to look for, hunt, discover in the mist that you do want to track, this is another thing you can do. Somebody could forage for food if you want to make sure that you have enough sources of food and water. I think Merlin ate through a lot of your stores of food and water, so we'll say that you've only got a few rations and things left, but we'll also say that you're okay for today. And then somebody can scout, which is essentially ensuring that you're keeping an ear to the ground or an eye open for danger, enemies, ambushes, creatures, things like that. All of the checks are survival checks except for scouting, which is perception checks. Now, your guys' plan is to move presumably to here. Is that the plan here? You guys were going to kind of head over here and go to Som's Point.
Yep.
The plan was to head directly back south as much as we could. Like the pink arrow there is the plan.
So without going into the mountain itself, you're going to have to take it into this hex and go that way, in the hopes that there's a way back through the mountain.
So, however you would dictate that we have to move to do it, but the spot that I'm aiming for, even before I could see the map, what I was trying to describe before looking at the world map, that we would head east around the mountain and then south, and there's actually even right there on the map like a mountain pass looking thing right under the pink arrow, kind of like right. Can I ping it? Like right there.
This map is not
pass.
to scale, and is not a one-to-one of everything that there is.
Okay, well, in that case, yeah, we're basically just going to move as far south and then hug the mountain range until we find a way through to the road.
The way that you came in is certainly barred off by that waterfall, unless there is another way out of the cavern system behind you, which nobody was able to see if there was, unless you guys wanted to go swimming across the crocodile pit, or look around there, which Vita did a little bit and couldn't really see anything other than a few holes around the area. Going directly south is just not possible. So the plan of going across to this hex is what I'm going to take it as, with half a day's travel per hex, and in the hopes that there is a way through this mountain, whether it be climb over, climb through, figure out a way through so that you can get out of the mist east, and then as quickly as possible head south is
That's
your option.
that's probably our best bet then. Yeah, we're
This is essentially north, so you kind of
towards Som's point was the party's plan, but I would say, especially if Will is the one navigating, he's gonna hug the mountain range, looking for a way through to get back to the road.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's no way through, then I guess we just hug the mountains all the way there.
Yeah. Okay. Then each of you will need to pick travel tasks. And you know what I'm going to do, which I meant to do at the beginning, but forgot? I'm going to give you this character, this handout for travel tasks, just so you can see what it is
Thank
as
you. I
well.
was just gonna ask for that, a list of our travel
I
activities.
keep meaning to add these easy-to-use sheets and then never do because I'm a terrible person. And I like you to feel scared. I'm kidding.
Doing a good job of that.
Here we go. These are travel tasks, overworld travel tasks. And it's slightly edited version because I've added scouting to the available tasks. So you guys, it's the travel tasks that you will find, those of you watching, in the PHB or the DM's guide. It's one or the other. But then I've added scouting onto the end because I think that makes sense. Oh, also, part of travel tasks is just do whatever you want to do. If you can come up with something that you would be doing on this time that would be using the similar sort of level of concentration or effort as one of these things, if there's anything specific you want to be doing instead, I will always take specific over general, or you can come up with a different general thing that you're doing in this time and we will figure out what you're going to roll for that instead. But those are your general travel tasks. They cover pretty much everything I can imagine you'd want to do on this, unless you state to me that you want to do something else instead. Who's doing what? And don't roll until everyone is picked, and then we all roll together.
I would like to map.
Okay. Map doesn't require a roll, by the way.
Cool. I'd like to map, and because I also have my notebook that I carry around, I'd like to be... Can I at the same time be keeping an eye out on, like... Because I'm, like, looking at where we're going, I want to see if anything's weird here. Like, if I notice anything that doesn't look out, like, properly...
Everything.
Like I'd
you
expect it
already
to.
feel like everything looks weird here, but...
But, like, you know, if trees look bizarre here compared to, like, at home or whatever.
We'll see.
Okay.
I will forage.
Okay.
I guess I'll take point and navigate then, although my navigation is less navigating and more so just following the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
I will try to scout ahead a little bit.
All right.
Sneakily.
So, a perception check from you, 2 survival checks from the other 2, and Fix, what are you doing to keep track of where they're going? Where you guys are going as a
literally
party?
drawing a
Literal
map
drawing a
inside
map.
my book, yep.
Yeah, okay. At the end of the campaign, we'll find out that this map was in fact drawn by Fix. Much to Will's chagrin that there is not, in fact, a way straight through here.
It's all my fault.
It's Fix's fault. Not Brian Martial Arts, who drew this map for us. Let's see. So,
I think there is a way through, and we just never found it because I can't roll to save my life.
maybe. Merlin is foraging on a 15. Fire is scouting on an 11, and Will is navigating on a 4. You guys start walking in a general easterly direction. This is about half a day's travel. I'm gonna say that a day's worth of travel is, depending on if you guys are planning on doing like a ridiculous march, it can be 10 to 12 hours. So we'll say you guys move for about 5 hours. Over the course of this time, a couple of things will happen. One is that using the moon and using the mountainside beside you, Will, you're able to keep a decent track of what is east. Keeping this mountainside close to you seems to be staving off the very, very thick mist that is just to the north of where you guys are, deeper into that forest. But there are these strange distractions that keep happening. There are these whispers. There are moments where, Will, you are convinced you see yourself standing ahead of you, standing behind a tree, walking a few paces ahead of you, and then you blink and you're gone again. There are duplicates of you everywhere as you're walking around, and it's extremely distracting. There comes a point where you find an opening that leads south into the mountain range. Fire, you're scouting for creatures, anything that might be in this mist. Roll me a nature check.
Eight.
You and everyone else several times hear this sound from the forests north of you. It is a call from a creature that you don't recognize. It sounds nothing like anything you understand to be in your area of the forests where you're from, or your area of the realm. And every now and then you'll hear it again, this time closer, this time further away. It sounds huge, like enormous, but there isn't any sense that it's so close to you that it's looking for you or hunting you or anything like that. There's no sound of trees crunching and breaking under its enormous, beast paws or whatever you're imagining. But you do keep hearing something. There is something in this mist that is enormous. Just huge. What it is, you don't know. But nothing comes for you. Nothing attacks the party. Nothing even appears to be alive in this mist, apart from every now and then you hear that noise. You don't hear owls. You don't hear the scurrying of small creatures. You don't even see any bugs. On this entire walk from this hex to the next, you almost feel completely alone aside from that one thing. However, you also see and hear strange things. The strange repetition of you and your brother laughing. You as a very, very young child, like a baby or a toddler. Your brother a little older. You just keep hearing this echoing over and over again. You hear the sound of spiders chasing after you, and every now and then you turn, expecting finally to see something alive in this mist, even if it's something as awful as a terrifying giant spider, and there's nothing there. On the trees in the distance, every now and then, you'll blink, you'll see a hanging body. Blink again, and it will be gone. But nothing physical attacks you, no more pains or anything like that. Merlin, you find food. You find water constantly because it is raining, very lightly. But there is enough rain dripping off of the leaves of the trees or down the side of the mountain that appears to be clean rainwater that you can fill your water skin with it. Whether everyone else does is up to you, but I'm guessing Merlin does.
Yeah, Merlin just gathers rainwater with his water skin for everybody.
You also continually find what appears to be blackberry bushes, and there's a decent amount of them.
I'll take as many as you can.
Constantly finding blackberry bushes in this place. The vines of the bush and the leaves of the bush seem very dry, as if they have not been watered at all, even though it's raining around you and has been raining for weeks in this area. The bushes seem starved, yet there are berries that you can find. And you find plenty enough to feed all 4 of you, should you guys wish to. Will, finally coming up to the cavern entrance that seems to move in south at around the time that would be a good time to take a break if you guys are not on a hardcore march here. The moon has set, and you would guess that it's around 9:30 in the morning. You now are in daylight hours, but obviously there is no daylight. But there isn't any moon, no stars. There has been it'll be a little more difficult to navigate through, but keeping this cavern system or these mountains next to you has brought you to another entrance to that cavern system. What do you guys do?
Can we gauge how far we've moved so far?
Well, you've been walking for about 5 hours. Not easy terrain, not moving along a path. The mountain range has been dipping in and out. But you will have covered a fair few miles. You would, at a guess, feel as if you've been moving pretty steadily east. So you should have made a decent way to Sum's Point.
Okay. Well, we took a short rest right before we exited the cave at the end of last session.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there's much for us to gain by taking another one, really. So I don't see any reason why we would need to stop unless someone else in the party has a good reason that we should stop.
I probably don't want to stop at all.
Yeah, no, neither do I. I'm eager to get out.
Yeah, I'd say, we're at least I think most of us are very motivated to get to Sum's Point as fast as possible. So and if we were going to stop somewhere, it wouldn't be in the mist. That'd be the last place to take a break. So
Are you?
I don't think anyone's going to suggest that we stop. I think we just keep pushing.
Are you going into the cave system to try and head south?
Are you saying like I see an entrance heading south?
Yeah, there's a full-on opening into the mountainside that heads what looks like dead south.
I'll just call the others over then, and kind of gesture to the opening. We might have a way through.
Another cave.
Believe me, I hear you. The last thing I want is to wander around inside the caves again. However, the road on the other side is far easier to traverse than pushing through this stuff.
And there's something very large in the mist that I've been hearing, and I'd really rather try the cave.
Brad, is this like a cavern going underground that we're looking at, or is this like a mountain pass heading up and over?
It seems to be relatively flat to the ground at where the entrance is. It doesn't seem to be going up or down, but if it were doing either, it looks like it might incline downwards a little.
Let me rephrase the question. Are we going into a cave, or are we going up over the mountains?
You're going into a cave.
Does the entrance to the cave look disturbed recently?
Give me a perception check with advantage.
Yeah, can I check too if there's like claw marks or something to make it as if this is like something's den?
Yes, you can
With
give
advantage,
me
is
a
it 20?
survival check. Doesn't appear to be any claw marks. There has been something around here recently. Fix, you recognize very quickly this as the cave exit that you guys came out of before. Will has taken you in a full circle somehow.
Do you recognize this cave, Will?
No?
Might want to
Oh,
cast
God.
your mind back 5 hours to when we left.
What?
We have gone in a circle.
Not possible, Will.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. It's not possible. Right. Well, before you start accusing me of navigation, I've kept the mountain on my right this entire time. It's impossible that we've gone in a circle. Unless the mist just doesn't want us to leave.
I check my map.
Yes.
Does it look how I expect it to? Is it just a straight line going past the mountains?
Your map probably looks, depending on how you've done this, and how much detail and what you're doing to draw this map here, you would assume that you've drawn a line going from one side of the page to the other with a few notable landmarks, presumably, rather than being a piece of cartography masterpiece.
Yeah.
So as far as you're concerned, it most certainly feels like you guys didn't get lost at all. And the other side of this is that you didn't. You're not lost. You're back where you started. But in theory, you've been walking this entire time. It certainly felt like you were going in the same direction. You've heard of this happening in deep snow or lost in forests where people get turned around. But doing this with a mountain to one side of you is a little odd. You get the sense on all of you would probably not feel like you've done a circle at all. It's a very strange scenario that you've done a circle. However, Fix and probably Fire, you would recognize the area on the ground where Will fell and dug two knee grooves as Merlin rolled off of his back, and the four of you each fell to the ground in those areas and woke up moments later and picked up your bags and things. So this is definitely the same cave that you came out of. The sense of being lost is probably confusing for you, Fix, as you are both lost and not lost.
And do I feel tired? Like, if I'm going to check myself, just like, we definitely walked. I didn't imagine that. Like, we definitely did.
Definitely been walking for 5 hours. The moon is gone. Your legs are aching. You're tired. You can feel that. 100%.
This doesn't make any sense. Would you stop finishing my sentences?
It's creeping me out. There's enough to be creeped out about here, and you guys are creeping me out.
Listen, great minds and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But
great
this
minds.
doesn't- Okay. Listen, if the rest of you are so smart, perhaps you'd like to lead the way, but I took us in a straight line following the mountains with the mountain on my right the entire time. There's no way I could have been turned around. It's not possible. Doesn't physically make any sense.
It seems possible, seeing as how it happened, but
I don't think that's what happened, though.
what do you think happened?
I don't believe that we somehow about-faced and marched back this way. I think the pathways in this mist must be twisted in such a way to maybe a magic warding of some sort.
Merlin? Magic?
I mean, I don't know if this has anything to do with magic or not, or if Will's sense of direction, well, not to doubt you or anything, but...
Not to doubt you, but I doubt you. Is that what this... No offense, but offense... Look, I took us in a straight line that way with that mountain ridge on the right the entire time. Unless we've gone all the way around the mountain and come back to where we started, but that would have put us near the road we were looking for, so that can't have been it either. I mean, maybe, perhaps, whilst we're in the mist, we dedicate more than just one person to trying to find the way, because I think this place is actively working against us to keep us here.
I agree.
Doesn't feel like much point making a map if it's just going to be a circle.
A fair point. And for that matter, we don't know whether the map you just drew is... The land itself may have shifted in our wake, is what I'm saying. Your map may have been accurate at the moment you drew it, but then rendered irrelevant by this mist.
Or it might have been accurate to our perception, but our perception is not actually what is there.
Right.
We could try going left instead of right. But I think if we go left, we should hit Cole eventually. But same thing could happen again. But then what else can we do? We can't go back.
Maybe perhaps if we leave some sort of trail behind, so that we, I don't know, if this happens again, then we know that there is some sort of magic involved, and it's not Will's sense of direction.
Well, I'm out of ideas. I've tried the follow the terrain route, and that isn't working. We could circle back, I suppose, towards Cole.
And waste precious time, but
See, on the one hand, I don't want to waste time. I want to get to Swamp's Point as fast as possible, but ending up where we started is quite definitively a waste of time.
maybe the lesser of two evils.
I may not
I'd
have a
rather be
choice
out
but
of
to-
the mist.
So what then? Back to Cole? Take the road south?
Yeah.
Sure. Think you can get us there?
I mean, it's not going to be any different than heading east. We just put the mountains on our left and we're heading west. But
Okay, maybe make
if
it different.
then what would you suggest?
I don't know, but if your plan isn't any different than the last plan, then
Well,
will have the same result.
The biggest difference is if we head west back towards Cole, we're heading towards the edge of the mist, where we're leaving it. Heading east, we're going deeper into it, and I feel like that is a very strong difference.
okay.
But with that said, I mean, I can point the right direction and walk forward. I'm not sure what else you want from me.
Okay, I think we go towards Cole, and if we can, we leave some sort of trail. A physical trail. Is there anything we can do that with? Does anybody have anything?
Well, I've been collecting some berries, but, well, I was hoping we could use these for, well, when we get hungry later.
Are
But
there
I've
many
been...
berries on the road?
Sorry, come again?
Were there many berries on the road? You could just get more as we go.
I mean, it's strange, I was honestly surprised I managed to pick these. I was picking these off of dead branches from what it looked like. I don't know if I'll be able to find more,
Merlin, please tell me you haven't eaten any of these things.
but I have not, Will, okay? Don't you start scolding me, okay? I learned my lesson from the cave. From eating
Can I
all
look
the...
at Merlin and see if there's any, like,
Can I?
berry
I would
stain
like to
around the
insight
move?
check his claim
Just give me
that
a
he
side
hasn't
eye.
eaten any of those
Yeah,
things.
everyone roll insight checks. Merlin,
what-
have you... Merlin? Merlin? Have you eaten any berries?
Fine!
You just have to tell me. You don't have to tell
One
them.
or two, Brad!
Okay, alright.
Just-
So you need to roll me a deception check.
Shit!
You have to beat a 16, a 14, and a 3.
12!
There is Fire and Will. You can see just at the edge of Merlin's beard, there is a little redness from eating berries. Just on the wisps on the edge of his beard. He's done a really good job of cleaning it up this time, but he has been eating the berries.
I just
Okay,
do the mom thing where they lick their
as-
thumb.
As,
wipe it off.
As he says, "Don't you scold me, Will." I want to take like a little fingerful of that residue and just hold it up in front of him on my fingertip. You sure?
Okay, look, alright, just... I got a little peckish on the road. I was stress eating. But I've saved most of them, alright?
Right. well,
Merlin.
eating
The mist will
eating
lie
this-
to us. You have to be honest. We have to be honest with each other.
No, I agree. Honesty is key here. You're right.
And pretty obvious when it's on your face.
Alright, well, honestly, eat what you want, but the consequences you suffer from it are also your business. My real issue here is that berries, if we leave them behind us as a trail, may not be... The animals will come eat them. They're so small they might blow away. But it's probably all we've really got, so I guess it's worth a shot.
I mean, we could just squash them as we go, underfoot, make a mess. Easier to see anyway. Merlin, did
worth
you
a try.
say you found them on dead branches?
Yeah.
None of the bushes are alive.
No. Nothing out here at least is green. Everything's just dead. I haven't even seen small critters I can talk to.
Can I take a look at the berries?
Sure. And, he immediately hands them over to Vix.
I just want to look at them, see if I notice anything bizarre about them.
Yeah, do you have any proficiencies in, like, berries or alchemical things or anything like that?
No, just using my eyes.
Okay, give me a nature check.
19.
19. These appear to be blackberries. No real difference at all. Do you crush any of them?
Yeah, I'll crush one in my gauntlet.
When you crush it, a few wisps of mist come up from the inside of them. Merlin, roll me a d20.
Are you kidding me? Oh my frickin' god. No way. 18.
18. Okay. And roll me a d8. A 3. And then another d20. A 14. Okay.
No.
They appear to be just blackberries to you. But when you crush them, this single wisp of mist coming up out of it is very obvious. It's like you're breaking something of magical origin, like when you break a magical amulet or something and you see an arcane wisp leave it. They don't seem right to you.
As I suspected, do not eat anything from this area. It's grown in the mists. Can't be good for you. You feeling okay, Merlin?
I mean, well, so far, so good. But I'll let you know if I start feeling a bit weird.
Did you collect any of the water?
I did, and I have been. I've been collecting water. Well, rain.
Did you drink any of it?
Rainwater. No, I haven't.
Dead
Surely that came
bushes.
from the mist. Oh god.
Dead bushes providing healthy-looking berries that are full of the mist. Something isn't right here. We all knew that already.
Can I take out my dagger and just a nearby tree just try to... I just want to carve out a little notch just so I know that we've been here.
Yep.
Just gonna do that and say, I think this might be better than berries. I don't want to leave a trail.
I agree. I feel like the berry bushes, even if we stamped them underfoot, they would be too easy for just a gust of wind, a bit of water, a wild animal to come by and disturb our trail. Although I don't think we've actually seen any animals out here. But still, a notch carved into a tree every 30 paces or so is probably more reliable to trail.
And part of me is concerned that even with marking it, our minds can be deceived into thinking that we've seen these trees before.
This is true.
Perhaps it would be better if one person does something to the tree that only they know and ask if anybody else has seen it. And then we can verify with another person. Fire, if you mark the tree in a specific way, then we can see if what we see matches up with what you see.
Every 30 paces, whilst we march, one of us marks a tree. Make it your own individual mark and don't look at the others. If we don't know what everyone else has been carving, then we can't be fooled into seeing it.
Okay.
Perhaps, in theory.
I'm not much of an artist.
At least our
I'm
memories are-
concerned that if we all mark the trees with our own marks, we'll be fooled into thinking that it is our marks. What we see is not what is actually there, but what we see is...
Again, you raise a valid point, but I fear that you can raise an infinite number of valid points.
It makes more
what
sense
ifs-
to me if one person marks it.
I think nothing makes sense here, and we can be fooled into believing anything, and we should just try again and cross our fingers. I think that's about as helpful as leaving marks, in my opinion.
Right. I feel like the things that could theoretically go wrong is a game I really don't want to play.
Who's gonna lead the
Perhaps-
way? Will, do you want to again?
I can try it again, but as you said, it would be the same outcome as last time. Perhaps two of us dedicated to navigation, at least.
I will look. There's no point making a
will.
map if it just leads us back here anyway.
I will
Very
help
well.
you.
Okay.
Fire, can you do as you did before? Just keep an eye out so we don't get ambushed. Fix can assist me with trying to make sure that the mist doesn't turn us around again. And
Okay.
Merlin, find something to do that does not involve eating.
I think with that, Merlin just starts bursting out in tears, uncontrollable tears, like waterfalls, and they
Oh,
don't stop.
God. I pick you up and put you on my side like I'm carrying a
But
toddler.
it's not like I'm sad or
okay.
anything. But
No,
no,
it's okay.
it's not. It's just
I know.
I can take a
You get
scolding
hungry in
from
your
Will.
tummy.
I
Looky there, a tree. And I just stab at it. Look at
Merlin
that.
keeps crying.
Do you like that? What kind of mark should I make?
I don't know. Do you want me to mark it? I can mark it.
Sure. Yeah, you go ahead.
He lifts up his leg.
Okay, I'll sit you down. Yep, that's...
He gets on all fours and lifts up his left leg and takes a whiz.
Good job.
Just gonna look at Fix
Still crying.
with the most exasperated.
I'm just giving you a what the fuck look back.
Okay, so who's doing what? And you're heading to this hex, ideally. The one above Cole, yes? To try and head out of the mist. South.
Yes,
west.
southwest is our intended destination.
So we've got two people navigating, one person scouting. And what does Merlin want to do? You can give me something specific to do if you don't want it to be from the travel tasks list. It's up to you.
Well, I still think I'd like to scavenge for some things. Maybe I won't be eating those berries anymore, but, there might still be other interesting things, maybe.
Okay, so that is one perception check from Fire and 3 survival checks from the rest. A nice set of checks there, and we will find out what they mean after the break. We're going to go to a short break here, and when we get back, we'll find out where you guys ended up. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We will just be going on a short break, a few minutes, just stretch our legs. You can go and pee up a tree, Merlin style, if you'd like. Try not to burst out into tears while doing it, but you do you. Thanks for watching. We'll be 5 to 10 minutes, and see you in a few.
I hate that sound so fucking loud.
And we are back. You guys begin traveling once again, this time, hopefully, to the west. And a similar situation, I think, keeping the mountain and the mountainous range to one side of you, and the scout keeping an ear out for any trouble. I'm gonna say that instead of walking for 5 hours, you walk for about 2.5. Before fire.
Say we find the same cave.
You do not find the same cave. Looking around, the area does not seem to be an area that you've been in before. But fire, scouting, you tread on something. And it bursts under your boot.
Did it feel small or large?
Small. It was smaller than your boot.
I turn to Will. And I say, I'm going to lift my foot up. If there's a crushed berry beneath it, just don't tell me. Okay?
I will turn and watch as she goes to lift her foot.
I slowly lift it and just don't.
Underneath it is one of the leech creatures that had fallen on you in the cave.
Ugh. Not a berry.
Oh, I'll look down.
Leech creature.
Oh. I don't know which is worse now.
Does that mean we're back near the cave again, or are these things just common out here?
I really hope, well,
I'm gonna
neither option is good.
visually scan the rocks again to see if we manage to go in another circle.
Yeah, give me a perception check with advantage. We'll assume everyone's kind of doing this.
I'd like to look on the floor for more leeches.
Yep, that's what the advantage is everyone doing it. Ooh, 9.
Even with advantage,
Yep.
my dice are cursed.
Will, you do find one. Luckily for you, the DC was very low to find more of these creatures because there's quite a few of them.
No, I wasn't looking for the creature. I was looking to see if I could see the cave entrance, like if we've gone in a circle again.
No. Definitely not. The trees are thicker here than the area that you had been traveling from. This time you don't get the sense that you were walking in circles. But you're still... It's difficult to be completely sure. The trees and the mountain range look very, very similar. Then you find a leech creature. And Fix, you see one as well. And everyone can see them. They're all over one of these trees. But some of them look different. Some of them are slightly bigger. And they have little legs sticking out of the back of them. You can also see that they have little eyeballs forming. And then that horrible front opening, the maw with the lots of teeth. You can actually see the teeth on some of these larger ones crawling around. Fire.
Mm-hmm.
A creature launches itself at you
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
from a nearby bush.
Mm-hmm.
There's a sudden rustling of feathers and leaves, and then very quickly you see a long neck with a beak on the end snap out towards where you are. However, you can react first. What do you do as what is essentially a giant, rotten-looking chicken head appears in a nearby bush and snaps its beak at you.
I draw my bow.
You want
It's
to fire?
definitely attacking me.
Oh, 100%. You've woken it up.
Okay, I shoot it.
Give me an attack roll. With disadvantage,
shoot.
because you're right next to it.
Disadvantage. Oh yeah. 13.
13 is a hit. Give me the damage.
Ooh. 9.
9 damage. Now, here's what happens next. Each of you suddenly notices fire spin, and then this bush starts moving. A creature launches itself out towards where she is, snapping a huge beak. You realize that this enormous bird-like creature is stepping up out of this bush. It's a strange looking thing though, something that you would never have seen before. The closest thing that you might recognize it to be is maybe a chicken, but it's enormous. It's as large as a horse might be, maybe even a little bigger. A hideous thing. Part chicken, bird, part maybe bat as it stretches leathery wings, and then maybe kind of a lizard as you see scales across this thing. It has feathers, and it has an eye on one side of its head and no eye on the other, and then a disgusting beak. That's not all though. It's covered from head to toe in leeches, those horrible leech things. Not just the small ones, not just the smaller ones with the legs, but large ones. And as it leaps from the bush, this thing runs, and many of these things fall off of them. We're going to call these creatures the Wretched. And I'm going to need some initiatives from you all in a second, if I can just drag you over to here, where I'm going to assume you are in this map. Give me 1 sec, and here we are. Boom. Will, you're probably over there. Merlin, you're probably over there. And we're going to say that Fire is here, as she is the one that deals with the thing. Now, there are creatures all around you as they begin to appear in the area. There's one creature we're going to call a cockatrice, which, yes, it is basically a horrible mutant chocobo. And then there are these much, much larger forms of these leech creatures, each with 2 back legs propelling them forward, the size of a chihuahua, rushing at you from all around and falling from the back of this cockatrice, landing on the ground, rolling, and then looking up again. Their weird little glistening beady eyes and open maw of a mouth, searching for something to eat this afternoon. I am going to roll initiatives for all of the creatures, and you guys can roll your own initiatives if you want. You don't have to if you'd like to run away. The Wretched go on a 12. And the cockatrice will go on a 6. Alright, are we all on there? Am I missing anyone?
I
don't
finally
think so.
figured out why my initiative never puts me on the tracker the first time I click it.
Because you didn't click your token.
No, it's because I am clicking my token and then hitting the thing, but I have my character sheet popped out as a separate window and it doesn't correctly transcribe it. So I closed
yes,
it
that
and
makes
opened it
sense.
in the app and it's fixed it.
Yeah.
Yes!
That makes
Sorry,
a lot
I'm
of
really
sense.
excited about this. It's been plaguing me for 8 episodes.
Yeah. Okay, so the first person to react after all of this is Fire. Obviously, she fires an arrow off, but that was because you rolled so high on the scouting. What do you do as the official first turn of combat here?
I would like to disengage
Mm-hmm.
from this evil chocobo.
Yep.
and run. I have 30 feet. I would like to run here. Boop. And while I'm running by them, I'm just saying, we need to go. And actually, I'll turn around and take a shot
Okay.
at the chocobo.
Okay.
Is it normal roll now?
It is a normal roll.
17?
17 is a hit.
6.
6.
That's my turn.
An arrow strikes the side of this cockatrice. You see blood and leeches fly off of this thing, especially as it kind of moves one of these leathery wings, trying to gather itself. It turns to you, snapping its one singular eye, rolling around in its leathery head. And that is the end of your turn, bringing us to Merlin.
Oh boy.
Merlin, roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh no. I was just gonna say I'm mighty close. Oh no. Okay, Constitution saving throw 10.
Ooh, a 10 is for fail. You are beginning to feel the effects of a paralysis. And you might have been feeling it a little bit, but now you're feeling it pretty badly. You can feel it in your hands and in your mouth. Roll me a D2. 1 is hands, 2 is mouth.
Oh my god. Okay.
2, mouth. Any spells that have a V or a verbal component, you can't cast right now. Every time you try and speak at the moment, your speech is going to be slurred, like you've just gone to the dentist and had the injection. Your lips and your tongue feel fat, and you can't cast any spells with a V verbal component right now.
Got it. Alright.
You are beginning to become permanently paralyzed, starting in your hands and your mouth from the berries. You also still keep crying.
Okay, let me see. Oh god, okay. This is really
Did you say
bad.
he's still crying from our
Yeah, I'm still
conversation?
crying. Okay, I'm still
Uncontrollably
crying.
on and off the
Has
entire
it's
time.
been 2 hours, he's still crying? I would
This
have
is-
left.
You're a monster.
I'd be gone by now.
This is bad. All my spells are component V.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So I'm gonna attempt to flee.
Okay.
I'm gonna hide in, I guess, what looks to be a bush right there.
Yep.
I'm gonna try and hide there.
All right, give me a stealth check.
Oh god, okay. Ooh. Okay. Oh no!
A 7.
7.
Okay, if anything tries to find you, it has to be a 7 on its perception check to be able to sniff you out.
Oh boy.
Fix, your turn.
Seeing that it's covered in leeches and knowing what that was like last time, I'm going to run backwards to about here. And then just hex and then Eldritch Blast straight at the big chocobo chicken boy.
Okay, what stat are you hexing?
Probably strength.
Okay.
Right. Eldritch Blast. 18.
18's a hit.
Oh, wait, no. 11.
11. You
And 5
fire off
from the
an eldritch blast at this thing. You see it strike the side of this creature's head. It snaps its neck. You see the creature's neck snap sideways and hang loosely from the top of its neck. And then it starts snapping its beak again. And the thing begins to flail wildly and run around still. It's not quite dead.
Oh. And there was the 5 necrotic as well from the hex.
Then it dies. Do you get it on the... I thought you didn't get it on the first one. Why do I keep thinking
No, I
that?
think we decided last time it did.
Okay.
If I hit the first one, then he gets it.
All right. I just don't. Okay. The creature runs around in a circle like a headless chicken and falls over. However, lots of these horrible, wretched leeches are still picking themselves up from the ground and rushing towards you as a group. Is that the end of your turn, Fix?
Yep.
Okay. Will.
I'm just gonna see how many of them there are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm gonna look at Fix and say, can you freeze or burn these things? If I get
Not
them
unless
all
we
in
get
one
them
spot,
close together. Maybe.
Will run forward on that, and I will run right into the middle of them all, as noisily and as obviously as possible, and take the dodge action right here in the center.
Okay.
And my turn.
All right. Brings us to the wretched's turn then. Let's see. I'm going to roll for these two fringe ones to see if they go after Will. And then those two fringe ones to see if they go after Will. I'm going to say these two on the bottom have already kind of decided their course of action, but the rest are going to go after you, Will. Which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one's going after you, Fix. This one is going to go after Merlin unless he can't see him actually anymore, which he does. And this one is going to go after you, Fire. Now, these creatures move so fast. When they get up and they get onto those two back legs, they move so deftly through the underbrush. It's crazy. They are so much quicker than you would expect them to be. They move with blinding speed, suddenly rushing over to where Will is, swarming over to him. Suddenly, Fix, you see one running towards you. It leaps up towards you and attempts to bite at you. Let's see. I'm going to roll for these on here because I got a lot of stuff going on. And I'd rather keep it secret because it's fun. A 7, I'm guessing, is a miss.
Yep.
As it bites towards you, you jump out of the way, this thing nipping and trying to find where you are again. One is going to try and bite at you, Merlin. You're kind of laying down in the bush, I imagine, and then this thing just bursts through and attempts to bite at you. On a 12 versus your AC,
Oh, yeah, that's a hit.
it's going to hit you. Okay, so... that... Oh, wait. I am misreading this. No, it doesn't. No. I'm dumb as hell. Okay. This thing bites and latches onto you. It is now attached to you. Okay?
Oh no, yay, friend.
And then a 5 on Fire as you deftly move out of the way. You see one of them scurry around underneath you. Now, Will, how many are going to hit you? How many do you have to roll? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these. Is that right? Yes. 1. These have advantage.
I took the dodge action, so
They have
it would even
normal.
out the roll, right?
Yes. So 11, 21, 14, 18, 19, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9,
Brad,
and
I'm
9.
gonna need you to calm down with these incredibly high rolls. That's
Sorry, but I think
3 hits.
three are attached, is what it is. That's it. That's the end of their turns. The cockatrice is dead. Brings us to Fire again. Beginning of your turn, Fire. What would you like to do?
There's one on Merlin.
One has jumped through the bush. Merlin lets out probably a garbled squeal through his paralyzed mouth and tongue.
Yeah, I
And then it bites onto his shoulder, looking like a disgusting fleshy pauldron. It buries its teeth into his shoulder and is now attached to Merlin. You also see this happening to Will as a few of them jump all over him, like that scene in Jurassic Park with the
To
compies.
be clear, did they deal damage or did they just attach?
They just attached.
Okay.
I'm going to just move here and try to remove the one from Merlin.
I'm going to try and remove the one.
I want to use my dagger and just stab it in the side.
Yep. Okay, give me
And
an attack
maybe-
roll with the dagger.
Pull and see if I can. 12.
12 is a miss. This thing wriggles out of the way, and you slice and miss, catching nothing but air.
I'm just gonna. I just look towards Will and go, I meant run the opposite way.
They're too fast.
Merlin's turn.
Yes. Oh God. Is there maybe some sort of way I can get rid of... I guess Merlin just starts to maybe try to eat some dirt. I don't know. To try to...
You're going to eat some dirt
Well...
in your paralyzed mouth.
I can't really think of anything else much to do.
All right. Final answer? If this works, you're all going to look really dumb laughing at him.
You know what? I'm gonna take a chance. I'm gonna eat the dirt.
Okay, you start eating dirt.
Yes.
Hicks, your turn.
I'm just gonna look at
You just end this turn without a roll. I love it.
Just look at Mo. How does this keep happening? And then I'm gonna hex the one that tried to get me.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna run. How far can I get to? Here. I get here, and then use icy hands. And unfortunately, it's gonna catch Will, but
Yeah, Will is already bracing for it. Sees you coming and just says, "Do it."
You look around and this thing is attached to your back.
oh,
Unless
God.
Hex gives you some ability to not be targeted, which it doesn't, right?
no.
Yeah. It's attached to you.
Cool,
It's eating you.
fun. Right. Well, yep. I still use icy hands because this is worse.
Okay. Give me the... So you're aiming at everything, including Will,
Yep.
in this area.
Absolutely everything. Just sorry, Will.
Okay. Give me the roll. And what is the... They have to do a dex save, is
Dex
it?
save. Yep.
Also,
All right, I'm going to roll for them going clockwise from the one on top of Will here. And their dex save is... Well, I guess I can just click this. And how many was it? 7 in there.
Yeah.
Will's dex save is a natural 21. And then 7 coming from these wretched... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oof. So that is a complete set of fails except for 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do this one. I'm going to mark it with purple. And they take how much damage?
15 cold damage.
Oh, you wiped them all out.
Oh, fuck yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Apart from this single one, everything in there takes 15. And then if they pass, do they still take half damage?
icy hands is half on a, or if it's like burning hands.
Yes.
It's burning hands but cold, yeah.
Yes.
All right, so Will, you take 7 cold damage, and this
Okay.
wretched will take 7 cold damage as well, but it's still attached to Will.
Oh, is that one
Sorry.
of the ones that was attached to me?
Yeah.
Rip. I was hoping I'd get lucky and she killed the ones that were on me. Okay, perfect.
End turn.
Okay. Will, your turn.
Nice work. And then I'm gonna try and kill the last one.
All right, give me an attack roll.
I'm too
Wow.
cold. That's
Roll
a
me a
nat
d20. Natural
Okay.
1.
D20 is 14.
14. You know what? This can't happen. So you're good. Nothing happens on your natural 1.
I'll take it.
Got lucky. I did it last time for something else, so it's only fair that you lot get it as well. If it can't possibly happen, then it doesn't happen. But it's it's an embarrassingly bad swing. We'll say that
Okay.
much. So you
Alright,
take,
yeah,
you take shame
I-
damage.
My armor is so frozen that when I go to swing at it, it just.
Yeah.
I will go 1, 2, 3, 4, and run over to this one that's on Merlin and drag this thing along with me.
Yes. All right. The wretcheds that are attached, which is the 3, 1 on Merlin, 1 on Will, 1 on Fix, they simply do damage now, which is 1d10 plus 1 necrotic damage. So this is Merlin, this is Will, this is Fix. Ooh, that is
Brad,
6.
I'm
so
gonna
sorry,
have to
but
ask you to
that's...
calm down.
I can't help it. That is 6 necrotic damage to Merlin as this thing is burying its teeth into you. You realize that it's biting you, but it's softening the flesh so that it can slurp it up from inside you like a fleshy milkshake. And Will and Fix, you both take 11 necrotic damage.
I would like to use my reaction to cast Hellish Rebuke.
Okay. Do it. Give me
Which
the
is,
damage.
Blah, 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 blah. Dex save throw. Which is 13 fire damage.
13. Either way, you're going to kill it. So this thing, is there just fire all around you and then it's gone?
Yeah, I kind of like just reach around and grab it, and then, but from my right hand, and then, yeah, it just absolutely bursts into flame. I just tear it off and throw it.
Yeah, there's just a charred thing, leech thing that rolls across the ground ahead of you, smoking after taking this fire damage. And
May I
yeah.
ask? Hellish Rebuke is a cone that goes out, right? Does it keep going, or does it stop on that target? Because she might hit this one too.
Single
I think
target.
Hellish Rebuke, you just point at someone, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not a cone.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Sorry.
Alright.
Sorry. Brings us to fire.
I'm just kind of in shock at what just happened. Like, I was so sure that Bill was going to die, and then that was just incredible. And I'm kind of looking at him, and then I snap back and realize that, oh, there's still one digging into Merlin's body. And I will take out my flask of oil again, because that's what I did the last time, and try to douse a little bit on it where the mouth is meeting Merlin's flesh.
Give me
Try
an
to
attack
get
roll.
it to release. What do I roll for that?
You're just trying to hit it with the thing?
I'm dousing it with a little bit of oil.
Oh,
So, sleight
well,
of
you
hand.
can. How many flasks of oil do you have? I think I said flasks.
I think you said I used like a third of it,
Okay.
maybe, or half of it.
Yeah. You
I
have just the one.
I have 2 in my inventory.
The one that you have less of will consume the whole thing, and that's all it is. I think you just consume it.
Okay.
To just pour it easily without throwing it. I don't think you need to make a roll.
Okay.
Yeah, just as an action, you can splash the oil onto a creature within 5 feet of you.
Okay. That's what I'm
So
trying to
you do that. It
trying
will
to get
consume
off.
the oil flask, and you pour it over this creature. It immediately lets go of Merlin and falls to the ground.
Okay.
Big thank
Try
you.
to. Let's kill them, I guess. Okay.
All right, Merlin, you have some oil on your shoulder, a wound, and dirt in your mouth.
Yeah.
What do you do on this turn?
there's no possible way I can shake off this feeling, is there? I just gotta...
No, you're poisoned in some way, for sure.
Oh boy, okay. Can I gargle the rainwater, or I don't know if it... I'm starting to think twice looking at it, though, because I don't know if this will give me, some sort of different effect, considering, this is rain I've gathered in the mist, too. Oh, God. There really isn't much I can do. I'm just gonna sit there in the bush and continue to cry.
Okay. Crying as an action. Fix.
Oh my god. I'm gonna hex the one on Will's back. I determined that he's the most useful to me right now. And Eldritch Blast that one.
Alright. Give me the attack roll.
20.
20's a hit.
6 damage.
Sick.
And then Necrotic. Are we taking the roll from before on the hex, or do I want me to roll again?
No, you can move the thing. You killed it either way.
Dead. Oh, okay, cool.
You can move the
cool.
hex as soon as you kill someone with the hex, you can move it free, right? I think it's like
Yeah.
Hunter's Mark. So
Yeah.
you can move it freely to whomever you want.
I was asking
and-
about the damage, sorry, not the... Like, do
Oh,
you want me
I
to
see.
re-roll the damage?
Yeah, re-roll the damage, but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
rolling is fun.
Yay.
But you kill it either way. So yeah, this thing is just launched off of your back, Will. You feel a moment as it is removed through this arcane force. And I presume that's the end of your turn?
Yeah, I'm gonna move behind Will and just kind of like stamp on the one that was on his back and just kind of stay a step behind him.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, is it my turn?
Yes, your turn.
Okay. Can I before, when Merlin was just crying for no reason, I don't think Will would have put 2 and 2 together to have an idea what's going on. But now that I can see him actively unable to talk and literally eating dirt, can I identify that there's something afflicting him or poisoning him or whatever?
Give me an insight check
Right.
with disadvantage because Merlin is so weird and alien to you
Okay.
that this might just be what he does. It's possible that he's done this on the journey so far without us seeing it.
I see all right.
A 17, I think you can assume that something is badly wrong with Merlin. He's been crying for the last few hours. At points, it doesn't even seem like he's sad. It's just like his eyes are watering, and then he seems to be weirdly sobbing. You've noticed over the last maybe 20 minutes or so, his speech started to suffer a little, almost as if he was drunk. And during the beginning of this fight, as his blood came up with the attack of the cockatrice and things, his lips seem to be swollen, his tongue a little swollen, and he's clearly unable to speak right now, and he's just sitting there doing nothing.
Okay, I'm gonna circle around this one to within reach of Merlin, and normally this would be my lay on hands, cure poison, but in this particular instance, I'm not gonna lay on hands. Instead, I'm gonna hold my hand out in front of Merlin, like an owner demanding the dog release a ball, like give it back. And I'm gonna just walk up to Merlin, put my hand right in front of him, and go, "Spit it out now!" And I'm gonna use lay on hands cure poison.
All right, which 5 are you using? The healing 5?
I'm unless I have to wait for sunlight, but I'm gonna use the 5 points from that pool if I can.
Nope, you don't need to wait for sunlight for the disease removal one.
Okay.
Only restoring HP. So, yeah, you do this strange casting of a spell. What happens to you, Merlin, when he reaches out? As you are cured.
I think like a black ball of like tar just immediately just flies out of Merlin's mouth.
Yeah.
Stop eating this stuff! And I'm gonna throw the poison on the ground that was afflicting him, and then I'll.
I can talk again. That's no hairball I would usually heck. Away with these berries! And he just chucks them all out.
And I will turn back to dealing with this thing, and I have no actions left, so I end my turn.
Okay. We have 2 on the ground, which I guess will attempt to bite. One will attempt to bite you, Fire. One will attempt to bite you, Will. 11 and 20. The one that is attempting to bite you, Fire, is the 20. Is that a hit? One attaches itself to your leg. On the side of the knee. The one reaching for you runs past you, Will, as you avoid it. And that's all it does. Remember, they don't deal damage. So, Fire, it's your turn.
I will try to stab the one that's attached to me.
Okay.
10.
10 is a miss.
Yeah, I probably didn't even look. I was like, just trying to get it and not. I don't want to make eye contact with it. It's freaking me out.
And, yep, it remains attached to you. Anything else on your turn?
Nope.
All right, Merlin, you are back to
I am
normal.
free, baby. Okay,
Yes.
I am going to attempt to firebolt, but make it small enough that it won't harm Fire. Just big enough for the leech. I'm
Okay.
gonna attempt. All right, come on.
26 is absolutely a hit. Give me the damage.
Yes, 7.
7. This very thin firebolt launches out. It pierces through the leech. The leech kind of ignites a little bit as it falls off of your back, Fire, off of your leg, landing to the ground. Only one left. Sort of jumping around at Will's, nipping at Will's feet here. Is that the end of your
Thank
turn,
you.
Merlin? If you try and
Let me
move, this can try and jump and bite at you.
Oh God, yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I think that might be it for me.
All right, brings us to you, Fix.
I just take a look at the last one and just sort of like aim my fingers like a gun and try and fire an Eldritch Blast at it.
Okay.
Try and
give me
finish
the
it
attack
off.
roll.
24.
24 is absolutely a hit. Give me the damage. I
7.
don't think you can not kill it. So, yes, another one. You just see this thing get hit by a force of air. It kind of breaks the creature in half. Bits of leech falling everywhere, running across the floor, around the area where Will's boot was. There is now some poison, black, oily substance in a ball, which is kind of oddly moving, and a dead leech. All of the leech is dead. There are still like lots of little baby ones moving around, but they pose no threat to you without their legs right now. There's just this dead giant chicken creature, completely alien looking, and then lots of these horrible fully grown leeches around you. But you're successful in killing them. Merlin, give me a perception check.
19.
The poison that you spat out, you see 2 eyes appear
Oh God.
and a little mouth, and it says shh, and then
Oh
and then
God.
it closes its eyes and mouth.
Do I see this too, or just Merlin?
Just Merlin.
Okay.
I think Merlin just shudders where he's crouched and just shakes his head.
I'm gonna walk over to Merlin and just crouch down. Just look him in the eyes. What have we learned?
Not to eat everything.
I'm gonna stand behind Fix and cross my arms and just go, Merlin, I'm not protecting you from Fix.
And I just glower at him.
He's
You
sweating
have to learn.
profusely. No, I had to learn the hard way.
Next time we end up in a situation like this, it would be nice to have the full help of the team.
Understood.
Was it worth it?
I mean, they did taste like
No,
berries, but
you lie. You lie now.
no, you're right, Fire. You're right. I need to be more honest with some things. There have been things I've been keeping from you. I had a vision, and I believe Will was in my vision.
Okay.
I recognized the sigil on his sword, on his shield, and his long blade. But I don't know what it all means, but whatever it is, it has led me to him, and I know I have to stay. We have to stay with him. He may be some sort of key for me. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner, Fire.
When did you know?
I feel like I've been dreaming about it almost every night. And it feels so real to me because I feel the wind in my face when I look at him. There's more to Will that I don't think any of us know. Maybe even he himself.
Did
But
you
let's
know
keep...
before you hired me?
Yes.
Well, I would have been a little bit nicer to him had I known he was, like,
Well,
the key to some universal truth that you have been dreaming about for ages or something. I was a bitch. Like, really a bitch.
there's a darker side to this vision, though. There were tentacles. It's almost like a darkness wraps around him.
Like the Grell?
I can't really be too certain right now. Now's maybe not the time to talk about it. I'll tell
Now
you
is
more.
exactly the time to talk about it.
You've been listening in?
I'm right in front of you.
Yeah. If Fix is making eye contact with you, I think you can assume
No,
they can hear you.
right.
You hear that, Will? Will? You hearing it? You hearing this?
I'm most definitely hearing it. I'm not
Well.
gonna sit here and pretend I have any answers. I am not what I once was.
This vision doesn't end well. The tentacles, they kind of overwhelm you, gripping your neck. I feel the sense of wanting to protect you in any way I can.
And thus I have my answer. I was wondering why the two of you insisted on following us for no apparent reason.
I didn't know until now. Merlin's the boss.
In
Sell
your
swords will
visions,
sell swords.
does Will look the same, or does he look different?
Well, he looks wounded in my visions. He doesn't look well.
This has been a fairly accurate summary of my past several days.
And I wonder if it's a memory or something from the future.
It's a good question. I've been privy to these visions too, but they've been, as he said, most of them don't seem to end very well. Except one. The vision where I was on the ship, sailing into the mist. That
You
one
were in the
ended.
mists in my vision too.
If I had a clear answer here, I would provide it, but I'm afraid I'm as confused as the rest of you.
Is there
I have
anything
no
else anybody
memory.
has?
I have no memory of any of these visions.
if we're going to be traveling together in this area where our perception, our ideas of who we are is changing, and can't even trust our memories or what we're seeing, we need to be able to trust each other.
I couldn't agree more, which is why I'm coming forward.
I look at Fire, like expectantly, just sort of.
I'm an
Anything.
open book. Ask
Call
away.
Merlin a liar.
Look, okay, I lied about the berries. That's about it. I withheld, some information. But other than that, it was just the berries. And, well, I paid that price, I think.
And the only reason you're here, looking after this man-child, is because he's paying you. You stick by that.
Does seem a little bit odd that the sellsword would go into the most notoriously dangerous area of this entire realm and face unknown horrors for a trivial amount of gold, and you haven't even been paid yet. There's more to it, Fire.
Merlin
more
is
to it
very
than-
lovable, and Merlin is a great boss, and I'm so glad to have been hired by Merlin. But there is more. It's not as dramatic as dreaming of fate or having an answer to any of this. I was just sick of being home. The elders of my tree believe that I'm special, that I was born special because of my hair. Everyone back home has black hair. Having the white streaks that I have apparently is some sign that I have this mystical fate before me. They imprisoned me, essentially. They kept me so safe. I wasn't allowed to live. I wasn't allowed to leave their sight. I couldn't even brush my own hair. I was treated like a doll. So yes, if you're wondering why I'm in a very dangerous area taking risks, it's because I got sick of it. And I had to go, and I knew someone who went to the Mist once. And they didn't come back, and I didn't plan to go into the Mist, but I thought if I could get a glimpse, I might understand. But I don't, and here we are. Is that enough, or do you need to know more?
Look at you sympathetically. Say, I'm sorry.
I'm an open book, I said. Ask away.
I have no other questions.
I
Merlin,
could do the lie down.
I'm not a man-child.
Prove it.
then stop acting like one.
I think he just huffs and squishes some of the berries that he's just thrown.
I'm gonna kneel down to get eye level with Merlin. Merlin, have you ever been in a fight before in your life prior to meeting me?
I'm not one who usually seeks a fight.
That wasn't the question. Sometimes the fight seeks you.
I've been in hiding what has felt maybe decades.
Alright.
I will only use my magic when necessary.
I'm gonna reach out and put a hand on his shoulder and say, I don't know yet exactly what we're up against here, but I need you to get your head in the here and now. I need to be able to rely on you. I just threw myself into an army of monsters, and even when I did it, I knew she would back me up. I need to know I can rely on you too. Otherwise, having you follow me around is a liability and not an asset. Alright? Learn quick. Our lives depend on it too.
I didn't realize that perhaps the berries, I was only trying to look out for us. When I scavenged these, I should have thought twice maybe, considering they were from the mist. And that's my fault. I take responsibility for that. But I can fight, and I don't want anyone to doubt me because I am capable. I have studied. I have gone through page after page.
I believe you.
This here is full of spells. I may not come across the brightest bulb, sure. I'm probably very strange to most, folk that come across me. I might be a small package, but I can come up with big things too.
You're afraid of using your magic?
I think he turns to Fix with some very angry looking eyes for the first time. And it lets out a deep sigh and doesn't answer.
This thing that's inside me offers me power. I don't want to take it. Nobody wants to take it. I have forced myself to take it to protect the people I love. Because otherwise, there's no way. There's no way we could defeat somebody like Orias. There's no way we could have survived as long as we have. I don't want to be using this power. But I have to. You can't withhold yourself if we perish because you didn't want to, because you couldn't use it. Is that any better than having used it and faced your fears?
I think Merlin is listening intently, but still doesn't say anything. He just gives her a nod.
Now then, let's start a campfire, because, oh god, I'm freezing, Fix. Oh god, I'm gonna start gathering twigs into a pile.
And Merlin just kind of backhands the campfire and starts a fire.
Can't say I have that problem often. Being cold.
Must be nice. With an icicle of blood like dripping off my face from where she blasted me.
Yeah, I've been told I'm very warm.
Perhaps
Merlin.
next time you rush into a bunch of enemies, maybe you could do it so you're off to the side a bit, so I don't have to get you.
You saw how many there were, Fix. You think you could have picked a better spot, then by all means you run forward next time.
I did say run, and then you ran directly into them, which was a choice.
Probably not what you had in mind, but the last thing I want to do is run blindly into this mist that has already demonstrated that it can turn us around and get us lost. For all we know, we'd run and end up where we started, or we'd run into another monstrosity out here, or find that thing making noise. All of which
Again?
are...
What kind of noise?
I'll be here all week. Merlin, you said you saw me in your vision. What happened?
Yeah. Well, it looked like you were fighting off some sort of monster with tentacles in the mists. I can see the emblem on your shield as clear as day.
You sure it was me? Because the emblem on my shield... There's 50,000 of these shields. This is the emblem of Guardia. This is our standard issue shield. Every soldier had one. Same with my sword. There's nothing special.
You might just be very humble, but I can't say I've seen many of that. And the figure. I could make out that chiseled face. I may not have been able to see it as clear as day, but I can feel it in my gut. That
That
it
could be
was
the
you.
poison.
What?
When did
No.
When did you first start seeing this?
He turns the other way and answers her question. I've been getting them as well for as long as I stepped out. When I was exiled from the tree.
Do you have any idea how long ago that was? Before you met us?
That was definitely some time ago. Who's to say how long now?
So,
We barely even see the sun.
so you've been seeing visions of me since before I even started having visions.
It's starting to seem that way. Even before I met Fire. I'm not exactly, muscle, so I instantly felt a connection with Fire, though. I knew not only would she be able to aid me, but I kind of maybe even got the impression maybe we'd even become friends. As I could sense, she too was troubled.
Oh, thanks. I thought you were going to say something about my personality.
I mean, well, you've got a great personality.
My quick wit, kindness.
Your unending compassion and concern for others.
And she, she's really funny once you start to really get to know her.
Generosity, you could
How
say.
long does that take?
A saint,
That's probably
an
still going
angel
to take a while.
walking amongst men. I swear, Merlin, if you're onto something here with this, if you're right, and our meeting was fate, and our meeting was fate, then the elders were right, which is so...
A kick in the teeth.
I'll never tell them. I'll just never tell them. I'm sure they won't. They won't know. They won't hear anything. They won't know. How would they know? I'm not going back.
Is everybody good to go? If we get back on the road. And Fire, for what it's worth, I didn't bring you along for your personality.
No?
You're here to kill stuff. And that's about it. Could care
I'm
less
glad you
about
see
the
my
rest.
true value. Well,
I offer Merlin some of my water from my water skin because I know that his is maybe contaminated. Just silently just offer it to you.
I think he ruffles his brows at Fix. Trying to get back on my good side.
I didn't realize I was on your bad side.
Oh, even I too can get, a little miffed. It's not every day you get called a man-child.
She has spoken nothing
takes
to
the
you
longer
but
skin.
truths that you needed to hear.
It's
I
not
will-
every day
I
you're in
will
a fight with a
bite
bunch
you.
of murderous leeches while one of your parties shoveling dirt into their mouth.
I didn't know what else I could do.
yeah, what was that? What was
Merlin.
the goal?
Merlin, we're not trying to pick on you.
I know it feels like it, okay? Look,
We
I have made a mistake. I have made mistakes. At least I can man up to them. Alright?
You could say
You've
Yeah, but
proven
you've made the
child
yourself.
up
same
to
mis-
them.
You've
even.
made the same mistake now 3 times in a row, and each time you say you'll stop doing it. So at some point you need to actually stop doing it.
Well, no, the salted meat that I ate, it didn't give me those issues. These berries, though, for whatever reason, I just started crying uncontrollably, and then
You ate
I
stuff
couldn't
on the
speak.
road out. You ate stuff on the road south of Kull. You ate the extra rations in the cave. You ate the blackberries here in the mist. And after each incident, I've asked you to stop, and you just keep doing it. So
Are
I
you
don't know
telling
if
me I
maybe you're
shouldn't
just-
eat anymore then? A man's gotta eat.
This is
Merlin.
the
Just I won't
man-child
be
thing she's
eating
talking
anything
about.
from the mist.
Merlin, imagine you're right, and we have a role that we can't even comprehend. It's so important. Imagine that all of this is fate, and you throw it away because you ate some berries off the ground.
This isn't about just. This isn't just about eating stuff. It's bigger picture here. You need to recognize the danger that we're all facing and take it seriously, because
Oh, you
You're-
don't think I take this seriously?
sometimes I question it.
Well, you haven't gotten to know me. Just yet.
Hopefully, we live long enough for that to happen.
True, but
You're clearly a very capable and intelligent man. You just need to control your impulses.
I just have quite the appetite. I won't go eating berries in the mist. I've learned my lesson. Or anything for that matter that lies in the mist.
We'll see.
A good starting point, I suppose. Now I'll start kicking the stones into the fire in front of us to put it out.
That's short rest.
That is a short rest, yes. You can do hit dice if you'd like.
Yeah, I got you, Warlock. I got you.
Anyone doing hit dice? Anyone doing any short rest stuff other than Warlock?
I am doing a hit dice, yes.
Yeah, I did hit dice.
Just like that.
I'm not.
Okay. Alright, 9 HP return on Will, 7 HP return on Fix. Doing one, Merlin?
Yeah, I did one as well.
Oh yes, you did. 5 return on you. And then what's the plan here? Head on. You're still like you
continue-
can continue through the hex, considering
Yeah, we will
you were stopped
finish
halfway
heading
through.
southwest. Because we know there's a road that heads north from Kull. So we
Mhm.
continue heading southwest, I suppose, and at some point we should be getting close to that road.
Give me a perception check.
Please stop screwing with me, roll 20. 14.
You guys head out from this makeshift campsite and begin moving sort of southeast. Eventually you lose sight of the mountainous range and have to rely on a general bearing. At one point, Will, your boot lands on a paving slab. Not a clear road at all. Almost as if it's just a single paving slab that had been misplaced or thrown here. Before you take a step back, surveying the area and realize that there's a lot of paving slabs underneath a lot of overgrown grass and dirt. It looks like there is a cracked, broken road heading from one direction to the other, but old looking. This thing hasn't been used in an age. But there was clearly a road here once.
What direction is this road running? Like north to south? East to west?
If you're correct on your bearings, it looks like it's going north to south, yeah.
Would this roughly be indicative of the one we can see on the world map, roughly?
Mm-hmm. You have found next hex over. You can assume that you guys are about here, coming into here. But you do find an old broken road here. You're still within the mists though, even though I've cleared them on the map.
I'll point it out to the others, and then I'll also kind of observe. This road heads north. At some point, somebody had to lay and pave this road that heads north into the mist. Which means entire crews of people out here working day and night. So either they were all foolhardy and suicidal, or at some point in the past there was no mist here.
I'd like to take a look at the slab and see if it looks similar to the roads I saw leading out of coal. And just take notes of what it looks like.
Yeah, give me an investigation check.
23.
It does look similar. However, the roads in coal have been maintained, where this seems to be the old way of making a simple road. Paving slabs set over stone or sand dug into the ground. The roads in coal have been replaced for the most part in most sections with cobblestone paths. Makeshift replacements. This actually looks like better masonry, or would have been better masonry when it was laid. However, this does look like, and I think maybe you would have been one of the only people that actually saw it since you explored the north end of town. There is that one path that leads out of Cole to the north as a separate way off and out of town. And yeah, this does seem to be the same thing as the more kind of broken northern parts of the path in Cole that head out towards the there's a couple of farms. Cole is surrounded by farmland and farms, and there are a couple towards the north of Cole.
So, given that my civilian occupation is as a professional stonesmith and working on paved roads and such would be what I've been doing for a living for the past 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at this, can I get a rough feel for how long ago it would have been constructed, either by means of the way it's cut or shaped, or what tools were used, or anything else that I can determine by looking at it? Like, how old roughly?
Yeah, you can give me. You have the thing, right? The
thing.
The essentially the dwarven skill of masonry.
I am proficient in mason's tools. I don't have... If you're talking dwarven stone cunning, I don't think I get that officially mechanically, but it'd be pretty similar.
Yeah. All right. I'll tell you what.
The mason's tools grant a very similar advantage. It's like advantage on history checks or something made to determine stones, structures, etc.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I'm thinking of. Yep. Give me an advantage history roll. 18. How long do you spend poring over this and maybe excavating it and checking it over and considering it?
I would say, given that we're in the mist and I don't want to inconvenience the party, I probably wouldn't spend more than maybe 3 or 4 minutes on this. It's probably about all the time I'm willing to invest for sake of not slowing everybody down.
The again, the masonry is better than what you find up here in the north. You would find this kind of paved road maybe in Gafreda. You'd certainly find it in the larger cities, Guardia. You'd probably find it over in the Dwarven lands because everything they mason is pretty damn good. Again, you come to the same conclusion. Cole, Jaira, Som's Point, Grant's Refuge, all of these places, they don't have time to be building a great road of any kind of substance. They throw down cobblestone roads, but will a lot of the time rely just on a dirt road or throw sand or gravel down. If it's a decent trade route, they will attempt to maybe pave cheaply. Again, cobblestone, something like that, something that wouldn't last that long. This has lasted a really long time. While it's overgrown, you could quite easily excavate it and find what would essentially be a very broken but well-paved road, the type of thing that that you'd find in a larger city, the roads that go between the larger cities. There is a place that you'd be very familiar with. Just south of Guardia, there is an area known as Rione, and there is a very large, pretty damn straight road that Guardia is very proud of, that runs from Guardia to Rione, that is a full paved road with multi-layers of sand and stones underneath it, so it will stand and it's strong and it's masoned really, really well. It allows the carts to move up and down much quicker with horses and stuff like that. This is basically the same thing. This road leading north out of Cole is pretty much the same thing, and it's lasted a really long time. At a guesstimate, this thing is over 500 years old, maybe over 1,000 years old. Very difficult to tell based on the area, because the mist and the trees and the strange way that plants seem to grow here would affect dating this. But it's a legit road. It's a legit masoned road, and that much you are pretty sure of. And that doesn't even exist in Cole.
Right. Yeah. After taking a minute or two to examine it, I'll point it out to the others. The craftsmanship of this road makes no sense. It's out of place.
What do you mean?
This road is nicer than anything you're gonna find in Cole. You see these V-shaped grooves carved into the side of it?
Mm-hmm.
The tool you need to do that costs well over 100 gold just to manufacture. People in Cole couldn't afford to produce a road of this quality. And even though it's old and overgrown, it means that something north of here had essentially like a king's palace level of grand entrance leading up to it. There's something big north of here.
But we're going south, right?
We are. I'm not
Okay.
suggesting in any way that we head north. It's just the mist hides more than just monsters.
I wonder if one point this whole area was clear and the road came from the north then. I feel like the people of Cole might know more than they're letting on. Might be worth checking.
We're in roughly the right position that this road probably runs straight back to Cole, if I had to guess.
It would be good to stock up. Prepare ourselves a bit better, perhaps.
We should go back to Cole then. Maybe ask around and see if anyone knows what was rumored to be north of here once upon a time. This road's fallen long out of disrepair. It's unlikely that anyone's alive who would remember, but maybe there's... I don't know. Elves can live a really, really long time. Maybe if there's an older one around Cole, they could remember that far back.
Yeah, find the oldest person in Cole.
South then.
South it is. And you continue your journey, presumably following the bits of this road that you're able to follow. It's very old and fractured and mostly covered. At points it completely lose the road itself, but you can follow it south, parts of these paving slabs, elements that have evidence that there was a road here. The hours pass, maybe another 2 in total since you fought with the cockatrice and the wretched leech creatures. Before the area begins to lighten up. It's an odd sensation, as if the light is being suffused through the mist itself. Another 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and you clear the mist. And as you do so, there's that slow reduction in fog that takes 10 to 15 minutes for you to walk out of. But it gets lighter and lighter and lighter as you step out into bright sunshine. It is daylight hours outside of the mist. And that is where we end our session. However, the oily, poisonous substance that had come out of Merlin via Will and his spell has been following you the entire time. A strange small creature with eyes and legs that grows to maybe half a foot tall as it's tracking you and following you. This kind of oily substance with now arms and legs and a face that looks freakishly similar to Merlin's has been following you. It looks a little something like this. We're going to call him Merlin's Boggle. And as he watches you leave the mist, he is unable to move forward and follow you any further. He becomes stuck, pacing up and down as you guys move out of the mist in the distance. You hear the creature speak, whispering behind you out of the mist, and say,
Boggle sad, need Merlin, be whole. Boggle never lose Merlin. Boggle become Merlin again.
As it walks up and down, facing the mist. And that is where we end today's session, for real. Thank you so much for watching,
Oh my
watchers.
God.
Dude, that's
You did
exactly
this on
how
purpose.
boggles are made. That's how boggles are made.
You knew I would eat the berries,
I
you son of a...
Didn't know anything about how that was going to go. All I had was a disease table that you had to roll on to determine what the mist berries would do to you if you would eat them. And I had mist berries in this before you even made a character. Because I knew you would have to do foraging and things, and I was hoping that someone would play a ranger or something and get berries for everyone and poison everyone. So
Oh no.
as soon as you made this character, I was like, I eat everything. I was like, oh. The mist berries, you rolled up uncontrollable tears until slowly you become completely paralyzed. Yeah, you now know that it can be healed.
I got
There's
scolded.
other ways
I got
to heal it.
bullied.
That's real
child.
suspicious.
A boggle is a creature that I am very interested in as a creature, and they're usually made from like strong emotions. So sadness plus this. As soon as you described it as an oily creature, I went, "Oh, you just made a boggle."
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
God.
And so thank you for
No.
allowing me to have a boggle follow you around. from
Oh
now
my
on.
God. I love
Um,
them so much.
However, you made it out of the mist.
Yay.
And yes, it is about 11 a.m. local time. As you exit the mist in the very northern end of Cole, you have uncovered a few elements of the map there, 2 hexes of the mist, with this mysterious road leading up and further into the mist. We will discuss more in the future. And you can theory craft as much as you want on the Discord or on Brutal Breeze channel in Mistlight after dusk tomorrow night. But until then, we'll do a round of shout outs with everybody. And you can find out where to go and boggle them throughout the week. We'll do a quick round of shout outs starting with the man of the hour, Merlin. Who are you really?
Who
Let's find out
honestly
who
I
you
feel
really
is
are.
the most useless party member at this
I
rate. He should probably just skedaddle on
I want to
out.
say one thing. You get an inspiration point.
Oh, I do. Oh, really?
100%.
Oh.
And I usually give inspiration points to people outside of games for real life favors, and it's really messed up. But DMs, trust me, it's the best way to give them because I forget they exist. But in general, you usually get them for like exceptional RP moments and stuff as a reward from GM to player. But I run this on Table Story, so everyone's an exceptional role player, and so otherwise I'll just be handing them out left, right, and center. But I do think that like when you come up with like creative, weird ways to deal with stuff, and also just kind of, it's very difficult when you're playing a game where you know that technically you can probably come around with some other way to come up with something or create a fireball or whatever. But if you just sit there and eat dirt and then cry on a turn. At the very least, I can hand you a inspiration point. I almost gave one to you, Fair, like last week as well, because you blew all of your spells and everything non-meta style on the crocodiles, thinking you were 100% going to die and you didn't try and skirt. And because some people would be like, "Oh, I'll keep a spell back because it's obviously in my head." I didn't give one to you because I forgot, so it has to be you.
Oh,
I 100% was planning on doing it, but that's how it is.
I'm giving myself one, Brett.
Wow.
But yeah, you can take an inspiration point for that. Fairlight, I'll give you an inspiration point if you play Hood with me, Leah, and PB tomorrow and carry us to victory.
I'm adding that to my character sheet.
See you tomorrow. But yes, Disby, where can people find you and what are you doing in the week?
Oh, you can find me here at Twitch, Twitter at DisbyRx. I played Merlin for you today. Thank you so much for all the good times today. You could catch me playing GTA roleplay over on NoPixel. Yeah, that's about it.
It's good stuff, and she streams for 14 hours a day every day. You can't miss it. What about you, Leah? What are you doing in the week and where and stuff?
I play video games on twitch.tv/Leah. That's as specific as it can get. Because it's anything.
Yes.
I also love how many times me and Will happen to say the same thing at the same time.
What is up with that?
That was really creepy.
I should have done something with that while you were in the mist. Like it literally takes your voice, like
no!
the
I'm getting
you can't-
ideas.
Yeah,
It's
no.
gonna start finishing our sentences for us.
Oh, that
accepting
would be
the
so
approach.
good. That would be amazing.
And did I kill almost all of those things as well? I think
I think you
which
did.
is
Yeah,
quite scary.
I think if a thing is hexed and you kill it, you get HP back. So you should be aware of that.
Wait, what? Really?
I think so.
It's
Don't you
10
want
HP,
on
I
a
think.
hex you regain health, or am I crazy? Is that a different
She
spell?
gets,
I think you're
she gets
crazy.
temp HP back, unfortunately, not
wait.
real health points.
Yeah, no. Or is it just being a warlock? I can't.
I get
hate-
temp HP from Warlock stuff.
Oh, is
Yeah,
that what it
5 temp
was?
HP. Yeah, for killing stuff.
For killing
Yeah,
things.
which I have been keeping on top of.
Oh, you get 5 temporary HP for Dark One's
Mhm.
Blessing. That's what it is. Yeah. I just keep forgetting all of that stuff. It's really important that you all know what your character sheets do because
I'm on
I
it.
really don't a lot of the time.
If only the 5 HP could stack per creature, she would have
I'd-
just
oh,
got like
I'd be
a
so
30
OP.
health shield from that first.
She would have
blast.
become the thing that sounds like this.
I hate it!
It was fixed
If
all
she
along.
got If she got that much temp HP, then we would trade. She's the tank now. Like, you just go in
Yeah,
there
that'd
with
be
your-
so fun. Battle Warlock.
Yeah, that would be fun. Maybe we can
but-
we can come up with some way for you to break that limiter.
Hell yeah.
'Cause that's just fun.
Break eggs. Anyway, yeah, that's me. Hello, I played Fix.
What about you, Fairlight? I was about to say Fix.
Hi, I'm Fairlight_Excalibur on Twitch, and I played Will the Icicle for you today. The more that I'm in this campaign, the more I'm convinced it's essentially just kind of a dark sitcom. Because when we were lecturing Merlin around the campfire, it was like you've got Will and Fix being the angry mom and dad, and then you have the emo sister in the corner with her
Yeah,
arms
it
I'm
honestly
serious.
did feel like being
and the
scolded by mom
guilty
and dad.
Merlin.
Yeah.
You can find me on twitch.tv/Fairlight_Excalibur playing whatever the heck I want on a daily basis. Right now it's Resident Evil 8, Subnautica Below Zero. We have Celasta Crown of the Magister releasing on the 27th. It's just, come by, check it out. I'll try to announce what I'm playing on Twitter on any given day.
Nice. And what about Brianna?
I hate it when you call me that,
Well,
and you know it.
What's the rules? I can't call you Brian. Can't call you
I don't
Bri-
know. You decided that you can't call me Bri. Like, and now you're calling me, and it's so weird. I feel like I'm in trouble every time you say
I
it.
only feel guilty because I want people to go to your channel, and I'm worried that they're going to write twitch.tv/brutal Brian and not find
If
you
they
and
write,
give up.
what are they gonna write? Brianna? That's not me. That's not my name.
All right, where can people find you then? You correct.
They can't.
me. Oh, okay.
They have to pass a perception check.
Yeah, if you can figure out what my actual name is, you can come to my channel and you can
Oh,
boggle
it's like
me
a
tomorrow.
puzzle.
Yeah. You have to solve the very difficult puzzle, which is not solved at all because they just put my link in the chat. That's not happening. But tomorrow you can boggle me at 6 p.m. Eastern, where I'll be doing Mistlight After Dusk. And then on Monday, I'll be jumping back into Subnautica, which I've never... I just started for the first time, and I love it. So...
Yes.
Nothing too scary has happened yet, and everyone keeps saying it's gonna be scary, and I don't
I think it's
know.
probably
I'm
one of the scariest
excited
games
for
I've
you.
ever played.
Oh, cool. Thanks. Yeah. Great.
Three. But Subnautica made me jump.
Oh,
once or
damn.
twice.
I'm so fucked. I'm screwed.
It gets really good.
Okay, good. Cool. Neat.
Yeah, enjoy that.
Great.
So, yes, please go and follow all of these people. The links
And
are
Brad.
in the chat.
And bread.
Yes,
Brad,
sub
Wodo,
to and
please.
follow Brad because he
Yes.
refuses to advertise himself.
Yes.
Our DM for making all this possible and adding the sick fog of war that we get to unveil on a weekly basis. And for probing into our deepest, darkest fears and trying to ruin our lives with it, we appreciate him.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
he does
sorry.
a really good job at it.
It was, yeah. It was a rough
It's
beginning.
a cool talent.
Well, yes, go and follow everyone. There are links in the chat or in the description if you're watching this in the future on YouTube or in the VODs. You can find links to everybody here and go throw Twitch primes at them all for being such a great cast. And if you want to continue the discussion, you can head over to the Discord. There's a lot of people active in the Mistlight Discord throughout the week talking about things and stuff and theory crafting, and I'm very aware of you all, and I know that there's a second level of fun to be had with that. And with shows like this, where there's lots of little mysteries going on, I get to put lots of stuff out there and then watch you all flail around and fail miserably at guessing what my fantastic genius brain has come up with. The truth is, it is actually a sitcom, and then like once you reveal all of the myths, you see the cameras and the lights, and you're all sat around a table, and you're all on a sitcom all along. The laugh track plays.
And you realize the entire campaign was just WandaVision.
It's a one. Yeah, they did it first. Damn them. And yes, Mistlight After Dusk tomorrow night on Brian's channel, Brianna, Bree's channel.
None of those are my Twitch name. You can keep.
I am so tired. I swear to God, the moment I say, "Oh, that's the end of the session," my brain completely lets go. It's so taxing mentally
The
for me
light
to
leaves
do
your
this.
eyes.
This is the only time I focus for real the whole week. Like I laser focus in for 3 hours, and then as soon as it's done, it's like it's taken out like 2 days worth of energy from me to do it.
Yeah.
And it's the moment I could hold on to it for this last little bit, but I never do. And it comes to this bit where I'm like, oh, I need to present a thing, and I'm like, and then there's people in there, go and see them now. So please, and then there's people, go and see them now. Thank you so much for watching, and we will be back next week, same time. Peace out. Bye.
Bye.